Hey guys, welcome back to Bend and Bounce. I am Rasheena Jarreau, and clearly we are bending today. I got a request to do this one from someone, and they wanted a nice warm-up video that focused on the neck and shoulders, that focused on the wrists and hands, and on the ankles and feet. And I thought that was such a good request because these are problem areas for a lot of people. So those are the areas we're going to focus on with this one. All you will need is a mat. If you have hard floors like I do, you definitely want to have some kind of cushion to sit on, and definitely need to have underneath your knees as we begin to move on our mats. So grab your cushions and let's get started. We're going to start in easy pose on our mat. All right. Okay, so just find a comfortable position in easy pose, which means your legs just gently crossed in front of you. Just take a few quiet breaths in and out to yourself to just kind of center you and ground you in this practice as we begin to move. So let's start by getting some movement in our neck, gently dropping your chin to your chest. And then lifting your chin and your gaze towards the ceiling. Drop your chin to your chest. And lift your gaze to the ceiling. Drop your chin to your chest. And lift your gaze to the ceiling. And come back to a neutral position. And look to your right. Keeping your neck long and extended in this twist. And look to your left. Look to your right. And look to your left. Come back to neutral, drop your chin to your chest again. And leading with your chin, roll your neck to the right. Almost like you're drawing the letter O with your chin. And in whatever direction you're going, reverse that direction. All right, sit up tall, head lifted, neck long. Extend your arms out and up, bringing your fingertips towards the ceiling. Drop your arms down in front of you and bend at your elbows and bring each hand to its own shoulder. From here, pull your elbows apart, drawing them out and behind you as you lift your chest and lift your gaze. And then draw your elbows together as you scoop out your belly and drop your head. Pull your elbows away, lift your chest and your head, really opening up across your chest and into your shoulders. And draw your elbows together as you scoop out your belly and allow your head to hang low. Lift your chest and your gaze, drawing those elbows behind you, and draw them forward, dropping your head and scooping out your belly. Sit up tall, allow your hands to rest on the ground in front of you. And extend your right arm up and back, finding a twist to the right. Bring your arm back in front of you. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lift that arm up and back, finding your twist. Maybe twisting a little deeper here before turning our arm back to the front. Arm lifts up and back. Rotate your chest even deeper, even more to the right. And bring that arm back to rest in front of you. Left arm goes up and over, opening your chest, twisting to the left. And return your arm in front 2 more times. Lift that arm up and over, finding your left side twist. And come back. Last time, up and over. Deepest twist yet. Maybe turning your gaze behind you a bit. And return your arm back to the front. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Bring your hands to the sides of you. We're going to find a few side stretches on each side. So beginning with your right, touch your left hand down to the mat because your right arm is going to extend up and over, drawing near your ear. One stretch, arm floats down, floats back up for stretch number 2. Floats back down. And here comes stretch number 3. And come back to center. Extend that right arm towards the ceiling, straight up, and allow your hand to fall behind you between your shoulder blades. Use your left arm to pull your right arm into an overhead stretch and hold this pose. Now before we come out, deepen this by shifting your torso to the left. And it doesn't take much of a bend here to feel the side stretch all along your right side. All right, come back, release your arms down. Same thing on the other side. Rest your right hand down to the ground because your left arm is going to lift up and over for your first side stretch. Release it down. Side stretch number 2. Release it down. And for our third side stretch here. And release it down. That left arm is going to come back up, fingertips towards the ceiling. Drop that left hand between your shoulder blades. Secure that arm into a nice stretch. and hold. Deepening the stretch by leaning to the right. And then coming back to center and relaxing our arms down. You can kind of rest your hands on your knees, roll your shoulders back, and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So we're going to move into staff pose. It just means we are extending our legs long. So gently shift your legs out of that folded position and let them slowly straighten. And sit up tall. If you want to take some pressure off your back, you can use your hands. Bring them behind you to support you a little bit as you lean back slightly. And wiggle your toes, kind of curling them and then uncurling them. Flexing and extending those toes. Now do the same thing to your ankles. Point your toes forward, flex your feet. Point your toes toward, and flex your feet. Keep that going for 2 more rounds. Point, flex, point, and flex. Move your legs a little bit farther away from each other, so farther than hip width discs apart. And we're going to roll our ankles in one direction. It doesn't matter which one. And we moved our legs apart so your feet wouldn't clash when doing this. And just gently roll them. And reverse that direction. Beautiful. Bring your feet in towards your body. Hug your knees into your chest. Just for a moment. And then we're going to turn ourselves towards the long end of our mat. I don't know if you can hear my bones popping, but they are. I'm actually going to untuck my blanket a little bit. And again, placing it under my knees. Cushion your knees if you need to. Protect those joints. And kind of sit back like I'm sitting on your heels with your feet flexed. And so this is kind of a toe stretch. If this is too much, sitting up tall in this way, you can literally shift your weight forward to take some of the weight off of your feet. But just get into your toes just a little bit before we move on from here. So shift into tabletop, your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. And we're going to move into balancing tabletops. We're going to start with using our legs first though, because it takes a little bit of coordination to do this. So we're going to do one step at a time. So we're going to extend our right leg back and long, keeping our foot flexed. Staying very active through our entire leg before drawing that back. Extend the left leg, foot flexed, long line of energy through that leg. Activating those glutes. And pull that leg back in. Extend the right again. This time extend your left arm with it for a full balancing table. Hold here, and again, you may feel yourself shaking a little bit because you're testing those balance muscles, but that's a good thing. And draw your limbs back in. Left leg extends, so does your right arm. And again, challenge yourself to hold your balance here. Draw that back in. And from here, extend your right arm up to the ceiling. And moving into a thread the needle pose, fish it through your body, touching your right shoulder down to the floor, and maybe extending your left arm. Pull your left arm in, press through that left hand, lift yourself back to tabletop. Left arm extends, thread it through your body, left shoulder touches the ground, and right arm extends upward. Right arm comes back, press through that right hand, come back to tabletop. Extend that right leg back behind you, touching your toes to the mat, and pulse your heel to the wall behind you. Good, right leg comes back in, left leg extends back, left toes touch down on the mat, extend your heel towards the back wall. Shifting your weight forwards and backwards ever so slightly. Beautiful, come back to tabletop. Left leg pulls back in. And touch your toes together behind you and take your knees apart so you can bring your bottom back to your heels and find a nice child's pose. Your arms can stay extended overhead. Feel free to get some movement in your shoulders here by gently swaying from side to side across your back. And maybe bring your hands up onto your fingertips to get a deeper stretch in your shoulders. All right, lift back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Position your knees underneath your hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. Before we move out of this position, we're going to float our tabletop. So we are warming up all of our muscles. We're going to engage our arms, engage your legs, engage your core, and lift your knees off of the ground, hovering about 2 inches off the ground. And hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Walk your feet in towards your hands. And find a nice dangling pose. So keeping your back softened towards the ground here. Keeping a nice bend in your knees. Maybe swaying from side to side. Straighten your legs, find a halfway lift, so allow your hands to rest just above your knees. Straighten your back. And let's just hang out here for a minute while our circulation catches up to us. because we're about to stand and I don't want you to feel dizzy. Take your hands to your hips, generous bend in your knees, press up, and come to a nice mountain pose, standing straight, rooting down through all four corners of our feet. While your hands are on your hips, draw your elbows back behind you and find a nice back bend here. Opening up through your chest, lifting your head towards the ceiling. And stand up tall. Lift your arms up. Twist to your right. Allow them to float back down. Again, lift your arms up. Twist to the left. Float your arms back down. Lift your arms, come up to your tippy toes, lengthen up towards the ceiling, drop your heels to the ground, drop your hands to heart center, and bow your head here. Taking a moment of gratitude for this practice and for your body that moved you through it. And that is it for this movement session. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for the recommendation. This was a really good one. I hope you guys feel better in your body than you did before. And I will see you guys soon in the next video. Bye.